Everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody, and I'm here with layout number 2 using my LA Studio March 2017 kit from this year. This is actually probably the most recent kit that I've been using. I've been using a lot of older kits, so it's kind of funny to be using a recent kit. It feels a little weird, to be honest with you, because I do scrapbook kind of behind a little bit, so I just thought it was kind of funny. But this kit had some Easter elements in it, and so I don't usually match my photos to the date of the kit, I suppose you could say. Like, I don't normally match, March photos with a March kit. But whenever there's a themed product such as Easter, I go ahead and try to make sure I utilize those products as well. I don't want to have just the Easter things left over. I do want to make sure I can use as much as I possibly can. Now, I will always put stuff in my stash. So if I do have something left over that I did not use, of course it will go in my stash. And then I do have a portion of my stash that's organized by theme. So if I had not used these, they would have gone within my holiday themed stash. So because this is Easter, and oddly enough, Easter this year was actually this was Easter last year. Easter last year was a very rainy day. And so it's kind of funny that there was a 3x4 card that had a sun and a cloud and some raindrops, because I was able to really kind of tell the story of the rain that day. So it was just kind of funny. How ironic is that actually was in here. So I'm creating my own 4x6 card up here at the top. Because I have the 3 photos with the white border, I wanted to make sure that I also had a white border around this 4x6 card, because I just felt like it would look a little bit more connected. So I go ahead and trim off a little bit off the edges of that and mat that on a white cardstock. And then I also cut down this Hello Spring card and put it up here as well. Now, as I normally do, I went ahead and trimmed my 3x4 cards down a little bit and rounded the corners just so they fit well into the pockets in my Design A page protector. And I always round the corners of the middle row, and I always use the Design A page protector when I'm doing Project Life. It's just easier for me. And I also want to make sure that you can't really see the cards behind it, and that's why I trim those cards down, and I always trim them down to match the Project Life branded cards, because they are the ones that fit very well in the pockets. You don't have to worry about trying to trim a card down after you've already made it. Now, I don't want to do too much embellishing on this card with the Easter Bunny, because it's really more of a filler card. I'm not going to do any journaling on it. So I just used a little offcut from that top 4x6 card and put it under my bunny, almost like he's sitting on that little ledge. I also trimmed out that documented label from one of the 3x4 cards to put on that kind of chevron card there to the left. And then I'm just kind of going through all of the elements that I have. Now, I haven't used up very many of the die cuts yet, so I still have them in the little cards they come on. But as I continue to use the kit, you'll see here in a bit, I'll end up punching all of those die cuts out. I like having a pile of die cuts so I can keep trying them around the page and see what works and see what doesn't work. I don't really like working with them when they're stuck in the little papers, before they're punched out. I like having them punched out so I can move them around. And that's also why I keep all my little scraps, because I just don't know what I'll use or what I don't use. And so I like having them there as an option to where I can try them and audition them in different places on the layout and just see, what looks nice, because you never really know until you try it. And that's kind of my feeling in regards to Project Life. And you can see the OCD part of me is lining up all my little scraps so I can see everything. It may be in a pile, but it's an organized pile. And this is where I believe I start punching things out and trying them on the page. The top photo there has some dead space in it. It's not really white space, but it has the table, and you can see, the background. My mom's actually sitting in the background, so I didn't want to cover her up. But there was no need just to have the open table on that photo. So I'm going to cover it up with this little ticket that says "Heart This," and I am going to do a little bit of stamping as well up here. Kind of funny watching myself scrapbook, because I don't think about these things as I do them. I know exactly why I punch all of the little elements out, but I don't think about it as I'm actually scrapbooking it. So it's funny to me as I'm doing this voiceover to see my process. I can explain it to you because I know what I'm doing, but I don't know why I chose to do that, but it's just funny because when I'm in the process, usually I'm talking or I'm watching a video or I'm directing Kaylin on his homework or something like that. So I don't necessarily think about the reasoning behind it while I'm scrapbooking. Are you guys like that? Do you multitask as you scrapbook, or do you have to have a quiet space? I was thinking about this earlier. I'm kind of like a on the go scrapbooker, I suppose you can say. I work a full-time job and I have, of course, a son, and I'm usually the one that's responsible for helping him with his homework because I'm like the nerd in the family. Oops, I dropped my pen. I'm like the nerd in the family that loves homework, or loved homework when I was in school. There were definitely years that I did not love homework, but I, in general, liked school. So I'm the nerd in the family that always wants to help my son with his homework. So I'm usually having to multitask though, because when you're when you're in a family and you work, or if you don't work and you have multiple kids, or you're managing the house, or whatever your responsibilities are, there for me, I just don't have a lot of time to sit down and scrapbook for hours on end, though that does sound extremely lovely, but it's just not going to happen. So excuse me, I'm a bit of a scrapbooker on the go, because I either multitask as I'm scrapbooking, or I'll scrapbook in like 15-minute segments, or I'll scrapbook at like 2 o'clock in the morning because there's no other time. But it's just kind of funny to watch myself back. So are you guys like that too? Are you, do you multitask as you scrapbook, or do you have to have a dedicated time? Are you lucky enough to have a dedicated time to scrapbook? Because boy, am I jealous if you are. But, okay, so let me tell you what I've done on the layout the last couple of minutes while I've been jabbing around. I have put a couple different die cuts down. I cut down that Pure Happiness one, and I also did a little bit of stamping. It just says Picture Perfect. It's just a filler card that I was creating with some of the die cuts as well as stamping. And then I also am stamping right here on top of this Friends label. I just stamped Awesome Friends. So you can barely see it, but it's Kaylin and my nephew Walter. They were the only two that were old enough to participate in this Easter egg hunt, but we had to do an Easter egg hunt inside. Normally we do it outside in my mom's yard, and she's got a massive yard, so it's quite funny to see us all running around, and we do all run around and look for these Easter eggs. But since it was terrible weather, we did it inside. So we just have the two little boys standing on the steps holding their Easter buckets. They had Easter buckets. I don't think we did baskets that year. I think we had buckets. And they're waiting for us to say go on the Easter egg hunt. And we just did it in her basement. So that's of them waiting for the Easter egg hunt. And then the bottom two pictures of them holding up their findings, the eggs that they found. And the top left photo is of Kalen opening his Easter basket that the Easter bunny left him at my mom's house because we were staying with her. There were two kind of circular things with some grids. They're die cuts. I say things, but they're die cuts in the kit. And I just added a little bit of journaling to both of those. One is on the bottom left photo, and one is on the bottom right photo. And then I'm using this Elle Studio stamp set. It is the dated stamp set. There we go, from Elle Studio, and that's what I'm using to put my date here. And I'm just putting March 27th because I had to look it up to make sure. And then I'm going to stamp out Easter 16. So it's going to say noteworthy Easter 16, March 27th. And I have used 4 different stamp sets in this layout. 3 of them are from Elle Studio, and 1 is from Studio 29 Designs. So the 3 from Elle Studio are this dated stamp set. I also used the Sunny Day stamp set, and I used a limited edition stamp set, which I don't know the name of, but I know it's from Elle Studio though. And then the 4th stamp set that I used is this Walden print stamp set that you're going to see me stamp out right here. And I'm going to skip part of this because it takes me quite some time to stamp it. But I'm just stamping out Easter, not hyphen, like apostrophe 16 for 2016. And I'm going to stamp it on a piece of just one of the die cuts that's left over and trim it down to fit in between the noteworthy and the March 27th. I like the combination of the different fonts. The noteworthy was printed on that card already, and then the 2 different stamped fonts. I'm really a font person. Like, I love alpha stamps and alphas and different fonts and things like that. So I think it's cool to include those different things on the layout itself. I'm sorry if my voice sounds funny. I'm so congested, and for some reason I have a lot of energy right now. So I'm like trying to catch up with myself. I don't know what it is. I guess I had a lot of caffeine today. Who knows? Just kind of trying out the last little bits of things that are in this kit. I'm also finalizing a few things, like putting down that Hello Spring little die cut thing that I made from one of the 3x4 cards. You can see all the cards that I have left on the right side of the screen and all the die cuts that I have left here on the left side of the screen. And this is where I officially pop out all the extra little die cuts that I have left so I can see what I have. I have a good many products left, so I will definitely be able to get another layout done with this kit. I don't know if I'll end up with 4 layouts or not, but I will definitely have 3 layouts with this kit. I always love the LA Studio kits. I should subscribe, but I keep saying that. And I went to subscribe, and then the code, what's the code? You have to do like a code so you can get free shipping if you sign up on the date of the release, and it wasn't working on the day that I did, and I emailed her and she fixed it, but then I never got around to going back and subscribing, so I ended up just purchasing the kit. I didn't subscribe that month, but I ended up just purchasing the kit, and I just haven't gone back. I think that was the July kit, and the August kit I haven't purchased yet. I should really just subscribe. It would be so much easier instead of going each month and trying to purchase, and then the ones that I miss, going back and purchasing them. But you know, me being stubborn and delaying and, you know, whatever. I just haven't gotten around to it. So anyways, I will still continue to buy LA Studio products. I probably have everything she has. Every single time she has a sale, I buy a ton, and then I buy things as they go on clearance, the things that I don't have, just to kind of fill in my stash. And then I have duplicates of things, but then as I use things up, I think, oh, I need to repurchase that sticker sheet or repurchase that card pack or repurchase this or repurchase that. And it's funny, I probably have, I don't know, Denise may challenge me on this, but I think probably between the two of us, we definitely have probably every product that LA Studio ever put out, and possibly duplicates of everything. Definitely between the two of us, I could probably say that. Throwing you under the bus there, Denise, but I know you love her products just as much as I do. And there's a few others that do as well. So it's funny when I get comments from you guys. It always makes me chuckle about how I'm a bad influence. Well, you guys are just as bad. You guys influence me just as much. So anyways, this is the end of the layout. I am done with this one. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and check back soon. I'll have more for you. Bye guys.